Howdy.
Almost. Yeah.
Welcome. Those in the foyer, plenty of seats, come on in. How many of you guys have never been to 1 million cups before? Well, we're going to see a whole group of people over here who are here at 1 million cups for the first time. Where are you guys from?
We are from the MADE program at Gibbs High School, and MADE is an acronym for Business, Economics, Technology Academy. We're happy to be here.
Welcome.
Absolutely.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Is Stafford still there?
What's that?
Stafford, I think your name was? Petersburg?
No.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to the rest of you who are new here. Those who've been here before kind of know the deal. We have two startups from the community. They come up here, present the cool things they're building in our community. They have 6 minutes to do that. Then the next 20 minutes is on you guys. Ask them questions, seek clarification. Most importantly, make connections for them. Think through what you can do to help them grow these businesses here in our community and hopefully be big enough to have a bunch of jobs and hire all of us to work for you. So, my name is Sean Kennedy. I'm an organizer for 1 Million Cups. I'm with Chris Bennett, Danielle Callahan, and in absentia, Marianne Bowers and JJ Roberts. We also have Carly, who actually does all the work, puts everything together, including the two awesome emails you get every week, one telling you who will be presenting, the other one telling you about the presenters if you missed out, how you can help them, how you can contact them, and about the entrepreneurial events going on in our community and how to get involved. So if you're not getting those emails, there's a sign-in sheet right by Tracy there. Please give us your email address. We promise those are the only two emails you're going to get from us. We would also like to thank Cowa, our longtime sponsor. This is actually, by the way, our 3rd anniversary. So we've been doing this for 3 years. Cowa has been donating the coffee for all 3 of those years. I like to think that that's the reason most of you come here, and I can't blame you for that. But we have a pretty cool coincidence today. We have a transit-themed 1 Million Cups, 2 unique new transit options for us as St. Petersburg residents to utilize. Our first is Eric with Ghost Bike Share, because this thing is up here, and I think we're all wondering, what is that? I thought it was a bike, but maybe it's something else. Isn't it, Eric?
Connections.
Good morning. My name is Eric, and I have a coffee addiction. My name is Eric, and I'm the program director for Ghost Bike Share. So even though we have bikes here and on the picture, Ghost Bike Share isn't about bikes. It's about creating connections within the community. It's about tying communities together. So be it the juices to downtown or the waterfront up to uptown. So we really wanted to create connections within the community. They could be to your local brewery. They could be from coffee shop to coffee shop if you have that coffee addiction like I do. We're about making it easier for people to get to work, for people to get to school, and for people to just really take a minute and just see the city in a much different way than they have previously. We're all, how many people drove here this morning? All right, we'll work on that. We got a week, so. Everybody jumps in their cars and goes down these 45-mile-an-hour streets, and they get tunnel vision. They don't. We all tend to blank out, and we don't get to notice the things around us. So we really want to get people out of that routine and really create a serendipitous mode of transportation. So you can go down a slower street and see a coffee shop you haven't seen before. You'll catch a theme here. I really like coffee. Or just see a mural that you haven't seen before. So to get people out and enjoy the city. So how many people have been to a city and said, oh my God, they have the best cars and the greatest parking lots? Nobody. So we want to get people out on the streets again. So this is Central Ave, recently been striped as a share road. So along with the city's increased infrastructure and build out, we're really excited to get going. So how are we going to do this? Over the next 6 days, there will be very little sleep, lots of coffee. We will be launching 100 of these green bikes. We brought these bikes in, they're part of our corporate fleet to coincide with the launch of the ferry. If you don't know about the ferry, we'll talk afterwards. You should know about it. Those will be stationed all over the city. So essentially, the waterfront and the Central Ave corridor. So we have a connection at the ferry terminal and then through our business district here. From there, this January, that's Joe, our operations manager, we'll be launching 300 city-owned blue bikes. That'll be right around January. And those locations will be on. Gonna be a little bit. But essentially, those will be covering 10 neighborhoods surrounding downtown. So we really want to focus on the Deuces and 4th Street, the Central Ave corridor. Again, really connecting communities and making it easy for people to get from point A to point B and experience the city in ways they have not before. So how's it working? You sign up. Quick and easy. We have a smartphone app as well as a website. It takes about 2 minutes to register. From there, you get an account number. You put that into the back of the bike, and then you ride. And then you ride some more. And then you ride some more. All right, fun, yes. When you're done, you return it to any one of the 10 stations now, 30 stations in the future, and then you continue on with your day. So it's really designed for trips between 1 mile and 3 miles. So something that's a little too far to walk, a little too short to jump in a car or other means of transportation. And what's really unique about the system is the lock comes with you. The entire system is integrated into the bike. So what that enables you to do is you can go from coast hub to coast hub. There's no additional charge, but say you're running late for a meeting, you've got one of our wonderful summer storms coming at you, and you just want to duck out of the rain, you can park it at public bike rack for $3. So that option's there. If you're walking down the street and see a bike just parked at a public bike rack, you can grab that, bring it back to a station, we'll give you $1. So you're doing my job for me, which is fantastic. So while we're talking price, how does this work? And we'll wrap up here with the pricing and then open the floor for questions. For our visitors, $8 an hour, so it's not too bad. This time breaks up however you see fit. Again, it's designed for the trips between 1 and 3 miles, so 10, 15, 20 minutes. So you break that up throughout the day. If it's 5 minutes to get to coffee, 10 minutes to get to the office, maybe you jump across town for lunch. Really kind of break that up. So this can last you a day. This can last you a week. If you're here on vacation and just want to take a ride or two every day. For locals, like all of us, those of you that drove here this morning, maybe. We have monthly memberships to where it becomes almost free, 15, 20 cents a day. So 15, 20 bucks a month gets you 60 and 90 minutes per day, and that enables you to again, break that time up however you see fit. As well as annual memberships. So we're down to 27 cents a day, the cheapest transportation in the world with our founding members. So that founding membership is something we're doing special as part of our soft launch over the next couple of months. You get 90 minutes per day. We throw in a free t-shirt or a helmet, your choice of whether or not you want to be stylish or safe. So to get going, we've got our website up. It's coaststpete.com. You can go to coast.bike, you can go to coastbikeshare.com, all in the same place. And with that, I will take questions.
Before we start on questions, there are plenty of chairs if you guys want to come in and fill in, please.
I also, as you said, you want to start? Let's do it.
Can you put the map back up of the stations?
Knew that was coming, so it's right there.
So are there any stations south? You mentioned the Deuces.
So this initial, we're calling it our demo launch with our 100 green bikes, is really just to get the program up and running, help get the word out. Obviously the connectivity to the ferry, so we're really focused on the waterfront and Central Ave. Bike share works when there's stations within every quarter mile, so that way you're never more than a 2.5 minute walk in either direction from the station. So we're not to the Deuces yet, but as soon as we have a full launch in January, that's when we'll see the really robust rollout in connectivity. You, sir.
Yes, so if somebody buys a monthly subscription, does that time per day roll over? Does it expire each day?
Just like cell phones don't anymore, neither is bike share. When you get to that point, it is a great question though. So say I got the monthly basic plan, 60 minutes a day. Once I roll over, it just defaults to the $8 an hour. So say you just ride 61 minutes, 13 cents goes out of your account. So it's all prorated.
But does that expire daily then?
Correct, yes.
Okay, daily.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So, if I ride 3 minutes to Cabo Coffee, and then I lock my bike up, and then I stay 2 hours at Cabo Coffee, and then I ride it 3 more minutes somewhere else and lock it up, have I just paid for 6 minutes?
Correct. So as soon as that lock goes back in the bike, your time stops. Just I hate to compare us to Uber, but it's the easy, digestible thing. Like you're only paying for that Uber driver when they're dropping you off, and then when you're ready to get another car, you just call and get another bike or another Uber driver.
So if I only use it for 3 minutes and I paid $8,
So that $8, the prorated pay as you go, you can stretch that out however long you see fit.
but
So
for today, if I rode 3 minutes today and 3 minutes tomorrow, did I spend $16?
nope, that doesn't expire.
It doesn't.
Nope. So the membership time expires. So your monthly and annual memberships that include 60 and 90 minutes, those do expire.
But if I
Pay as
buy
you
an
go.
hour, if I buy an hour and it takes me 6 months to ride an hour's worth,
Yeah.
that's still $8.
Or I can send you an email and be like, hey, how can I make your life easier? But yeah, aside from that, yeah, you can stretch it out as long as you see fit. We have a lot of business travelers on some of our other cities that obviously don't live there, but they're in the city enough to have a membership. And that's the way they go. So they're in town once every couple of weeks. And that's exactly what they do. Just buy an hour and jump on as they see fit. Yes, ma'am. Good to see
Can
you.
can members of a household share, like if you buy the annual?
We legally no.
You're not gonna have police?
That's the way I have to go with that. So the liability associated with kind of riding a bike, it's not quite a transit pass. You're riding a bike, so
Got
we strongly suggest no on that. It does happen. We do suggest against it. We've seen parents give their kids codes, and then their kids just go to town. And parents call us pissed that they have this huge charge. We can see that this has been back and forth to the school and your office, like, so, yes, sir.
Are your bike rides on public property or private property, and how did you negotiate those arrangements?
Great question. So in 6 minutes, we only have so much time. The program is actually owned by the city of St. Pete. My company, Cycle Hop, actually comes in and operates the system, so they are on public property for the most part. So the city owns all of the capital infrastructure, which is really great for the city. So if for whatever reason my company disappears tomorrow, the program stays up and running. So a lot of risk is reduced on the city. Sorry.
What happens if something happens while you're on a bike and the tire goes and you're running into something out there? You on your own, or is there a number to call for codes? What do we do?
There's a couple different options. So because the entire system is built into the bike, there's actually a full computer on the bike, which you can't see now. You can report the bike broken, so flat tire, it's having shifting issues, whatever the case may be, lock up the bike to the nearest public bike rack. And because we have stations within every quarter mile, you shouldn't be more than a 2-minute walk away from the next station. You just jump on that next bike and continue on. Our team is automatically alerted, so they'll take care of the problem, and then you get to keep on your way, hopefully without too much inconvenience. But it's pretty rare. These bikes are damn near indestructible, so a lot of that is visual. Yes, sir.
So what's to stop people from putting the lock back in, but like keeping the bike away from public access?
So as soon as you put the lock back in, it actually engages with the rear spokes of the bike, so you cannot ride. So if you just relock it like as it's standing now, yeah.
So let's say I want to ride my bike to work, but I want to guarantee that it's still available to me when I get out of work. So I bring it upstairs into the office building, put the lock in, so that I'm not paying for it, and I still keep the bike.
So all the bikes have GPSs on them. You can tell that it's not on a street corner. We'll probably call you. It happens from time to time. People say, oh, I got a monthly membership. They put it in their garage and we give them a call 12 hours later. It's like, we're up front. Can we get that out of your office? So to that note of being at work and wanting to get home, we have guys on the street probably here in St. Pete 18 hours a day to make sure that we have inventory, not just the 10 stations, but obviously all 30 once we launch. So they'll be moving around and shifting inventory constantly to make sure that there's empty spaces available or actually block up, as well as bikes there when you need them. I've got you, sir, and then I'll come to you.
Yeah, maybe a good problem having, you're talking about working with ferries, is there a way to reserve a bike on either coast so that you know that you're gonna have one, so that you don't come here and don't have a bike?
First of all, kudos for rolling a coast into that. That's nice. You're hired. Sorry, John. He's getting a gig for you. So there is a way to reserve beforehand, so just as you're puttering in the no wake zone on the ferry, you put the bike on hold. Your time does start at that point, so technically the bike is yours. You can't utilize it for somebody else, if that option is available for you. Things like the ferry, we're obviously going to be watching very closely. We want that to be a success. So we'll probably have teams on the ground on both sides of the bay for that as it rolls out. Yes, sir.
So while this is new to St. Pete, it sounds like you've been doing this for a while. Are you just in town to launch this, make it a success? Do you live and stay here? Tell us about your background, and if you've done a launch in another city, just give us a little more flavor on all that.
So I am as close to a St. Pete native as you can get without being born here. I moved here in '96, so I've been here for about 20-ish years. I, like most, make the drive over Howard Franklin every day and operate the Tampa system. So the ferry question, I'm stoked for the ferry because I'm not a fan of that drive. So I live here. I'm super excited to bring this home. And then my background, I've been with the company. I was actually the first employee hired on to our parent company almost 4 years ago at this point. So I've helped implement a number of other cities. Pretty much everything we've done in Tampa has been echoed across North America. We're operating in 14 cities, both U.S. and Canada, varying sizes. So it all started in our backyard, and I'm excited to bring it to my city. So yes.
You started to talk a little bit about the company, 14 cities. You know, what's the future look like? How are they looking to scale? Also tell us a little bit about the staff. You said, you know, if they find that there's too many bikes in one place, they'll come around and move it around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if it's a Friday night, 1 a.m., bars are about to let out? I mean, how is your staffing work as well? So I guess it's 2 questions, 5 questions, 10 questions.
So let's touch on the bar one first, and I might circle back to make you repeat those. Because we do have technology, we do have the ability to ping people if they're unlocking a bike. So if it's 1 in the morning and I see that you're in the 200 block on Central, I think you're like, yeah, it might be better to take an Uber or Lyft or some other form of transportation. You can still get a DUI on a bike. To the point of staffing at that hour, we'll probably be running from about 7 a.m. to about midnight. And that'll vary. So if we do see a huge rush at 2 in the morning, we'll obviously shift that staffing a little later. But if things get a little awry in the evening hours, we've got the morning guys to clean up before the commute. So, and then feed me a couple of
Scaling.
Scaling. So my goal over the next 5 years, I got you next, sir. My goal over the next 5 years is to really have this throughout. Essentially, the Bay News 9 viewing area, about 2,500 bikes. So right now, the memberships will work in Tampa and in St. Pete. But my goal was to get to the Nelson County beaches, Clearwater, down Sarasota, Manatee, which may not mean a lot for us because we all live in a fairly tight pocket. We may travel from time to time to another city. Where that really is valuable is for those 14 million tourists that visit the area. They're not staying in one spot for long. They're jumping around the entire metro area pretty regularly on their week or 2 weeks here. So the ability to have one pass that gets them across the entire bay is huge. We get them all. Fantastic. Yes, sir.
What's your involvement with the biking community as far as education? I know biking, at least I was moved to at least in New York, which is big biking culture. I love biking. And as far as educating drivers, safety is a big thing, familiar with cars on the road, bike cars, and more bike lanes that roll out. Is that, are you just operating bikes and you're involved in the education, or is it just the city? How does that work?
So great question. If you're from New York, we have a phenomenal biking community. Everybody actually likes each other. Bigger cities tend to have like bike tribes if you've not been. So the Pixie Gear guys will not talk to somebody on the beach cruise or that's being very stereotypical. But,
Not far off.
Yeah, all right, thank you. So we're very involved in the community. Last night we actually were with Shift St. Pete, which is the local advocacy group. If you're not familiar, check them out, Shift St. Pete. So we did a presentation with them as well as Walk Bike Tampa Bay, who is the local education and engineering group that's run by FDOT. So we're really engaged with the advocate, I don't like that word, advocacy side, as well as the education side, and we all work really well together. So our goal is to really get people on bikes that haven't been on bikes in 10 or 15 years, which is really where bike share comes into play. So starting with us, and then we split them out to this world of education. And then we're working with a bunch of other partners. The city's obviously working on education campaigns. with the transportation department. A lot of factors, but we're all working together, which is great. You, and then you.
I asked one before, are there any plans to put some types of rack or anything around event sites like Chop or the downtown arch or the stadium downtown or just like part of their events where people might want, because the game is the right there, but you don't have racks necessarily there?
Yep.
Any plans for that?
So that's actually by design. So we'll start the Trop raise games. We'll see how it goes with people commuting in. But so there's a huge influx. We have 67 home games every year, give or take. If that's a huge demand, the rack's not going to support that. We're actually going to stick a body out there. So essentially, a coach check, or if you're familiar with bike valet, we'll do that. So you'll actually be able to go hand your bike to somebody. The whole system is run off GPS. It doesn't rely on a tangible rack. So we'll stick a body out there up at Vinoy to actually make that feasible. So we're not having to worry about a rack that's overflowing. Yes, sir.
So those two names were Ship,
Yep, Shiv St. Pete,
and then the other is
Walk Bike Tampa Bay.
One other question.
Yes, sir.
Is this a non-profit or a for-profit?
So we are a for-profit company as an operator, and then it's owned obviously by the city, which is exactly it. How are we doing on time?
You got about 8 minutes.
Cool.
Okay, so let's talk more about money.
Okay.
Money's critical.
Welcome back, Penny. Go around.
Always money, right? Something's got to bring up. Okay, so let's do this. If you can, explain in more detail how your company's monetizing. So are you doing a rev share with the city, or are you getting a flat percentage management fee? And why not run this as a private enterprise and do a rev share with the city in free locations and take a much larger piece of the pie? Just a question.
Yep.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so it's a great question. That's the number one question everybody asks. That's why does the city own this? So we're a transportation system. No transportation system in the country is profitable. It's very, very challenging sell. So the city owns the bikes, and we come in and operate that. Once we get to our break-even point, which has been predetermined just from our many years of experience, then we do a 50-50 revenue split. So it puts money back into the city, puts at that point money into our pockets for the first time. So that requirement from the city to actually own the bikes makes it a financially viable product. So how do we actually get revenue? About 50% of our revenue comes from ridership. The other 50% will eventually come from sponsorship. We're built out in such a way that we can operate without that sponsorship dollar. That just obviously makes my job a little easier to have that influx of capital. Bike share is still a kind of a foreign thing to people that make decisions higher up in the advertising world. To be a little, I'm gonna just completely stop there. But yeah, it's still a new concept. Bike share in the U.S. is 8 years old. It's really been kind of a growing thing the past 2 or 3 years. So as it comes up, people are becoming more comfortable with it. But it's the only advertising form that people take selfies with, which is kind of interesting. It's the only advertising form that you actually like get it, engage with, put in your hands. So, but did that answer your question? No. Yeah. Fantastic. All right, yes, sir.
So it's in 14 cities. Are any of them doing terrible? I mean, are they all doing
Great question.
are you really batting 1,000 everywhere that you go, or where is it tanking?
So just like anything, there's going to be your goods and bads. The Tampa is doing phenomenal. Outside of Santa Monica, the Tampa program is the best in our portfolio. Phoenix is a little challenging for obvious temperature reasons. They've got 9 months out of the year where they're triple digits. But in the couple months where it is palatable, they're doing really well. But over the course of the year, it's really
cyclical there.
Our biggest challenge is bike share is chicken or egg. Is the infrastructure there or is the bikes there? Some cities we operate in, they don't quite have the infrastructure, so we were brought in beforehand. Where other cities like St. Pete, for instance, we've got 115-ish miles of bike lanes and trails. We're the chicken here. The egg was planted 7 years ago, 10 years ago, so it's going to be.
I would imagine that the ramp up has got to be, like, to enter a city has got to be well into the 6 figures.
No, we're actually in the millions.
It's in the millions.
But
not surprised.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you don't know if it's a failure for what, 18 months, 24 months?
So we're budgeted for about 3 years, just like any startup would be. Obviously, we got a little more pressure because we're sitting on projects. That's the benefit of us being a nationwide thing. So if we're hurt in one market, another market can.
Last
slightly
question,
compensate.
how much, what's the unit cost on those bikes? Are they thousands of dollars with all the technology you got in them?
Yep, so a bike by itself, with the technology in it, excluding all of the other bells and whistles that is not directly attached to the bike, are about $1,500 a piece. But the price per bike, once you factor in like engineering management, all that fun stuff, they're anywhere between $2,500 and $3,000, so system-wide. Yes. You and then Beatrice. Go for it.
Yeah, about maintenance.
Yeah, so part of our team and being on the road for 18 hours a day, or 16 to 18 hours a day, we're touching every bike. The goal is once every 72 hours. So that's for small stuff, just making sure everything is good on just a quick touch. Once a month, we bring them into the shop, do a complete overhaul, make sure every single bolt and all of that aspect is tight. And then once a year, we do a complete overhaul where we break it down in the frame and then rebuild it back up. So the goal is, as you mentioned, Sarah, like what happens when I get flat. Our goal is that we take care of the problem before it is a problem. So if we catch a spoke that's a little loose, we're going to tighten that up so that hopefully it remedies that issue before it gets too far. Beatrice, good to see you.
Great to see you. I didn't know you were speaking today. Thanks for the shout out. Do you have a relationship with Visit St. Pete?
We do. So Visit St. Pete as well as Visit Tampa Bay, both entities are really pushing the entire region together, which is fantastic. We're working with them as this comes up. But essentially what we'll do is for anybody that's unfamiliar with the tourist drone or CBV, they bring groups of 10, 15 people down, sell the city to bring thousands of people down. So we'll essentially give them free memberships. They can come, show up. We'll make sure they're good to go, and then they can go sell the city on bikes as opposed to driving around in a car, which is a much different way. So, yeah. Yes, and then you, ma'am.
The advertisement, I noticed you have the advertisement on here, so where's the advertisement dollars go back? Does that go to the city of St. Pete or through your organization?
So it's all part of the revenue split. So it comes in until we hit that break-even point, and then we split 50-50. You, ma'am.
Yeah, 3 questions. So you talked about getting people who haven't ridden a bike in 10 to 15 years on a bike. Are they going to be able to, get a helmet? Because that could be dangerous.
Yes.
And then you talked about people who are going to come around and do maintenance. So how many jobs is this going to look to bring into the city? And I don't remember my third question.
We've got time. So with the helmet issue, people that haven't been on a bike in 10, 15 years, it's riding a bike. So. Got the bad joke, yeah. As far as helmets go, we are going to provide them, obviously, with the founding membership. You have the chance to be stylish or safe. We prefer you are safe and then buy the t-shirt. We're also working with our bike shops. So Safety Bicycle is already on board. If you bring your proof of your membership in, they'll give you 25% off that helmet. And then we also have an online retailer, Burn Helmets. When you sign up, you get an email with a promo code. You can go directly to their website. It's 30% off with their shipping, so it ends up being the same as our local shops. You can get a helmet that way as well. So it's a 1 or 2 day thing if you want to wait for one of those helmets. And then there was a second question. I'm sorry.
Jobs.
Jobs. So jobs, we're looking right now. Great thing about expanding in the region is we're creating a couple more management level jobs, which is good. Those are the ones that count. And then so there'll be 2 of those that are actually being created as part of the system. And then we'll bring on right now two entry level jobs as part of our bicycle rebalancers. And as the system scales, that'll probably expand it on 4 hopefully. And the third question, you got it.
So you said that the bikes are basically indestructible, but let's say I do destruct it.
Yep.
So am I going to be on the hook for paying for it, or if I get really hurt because I chose the t-shirt and not the helmet, what's the liability for the city or for you?
So I gotta watch out for you. So I know that you're on it because everything is tied to your account and GPS and all that fun stuff. So one, if you just decided to throw it in the bay, I'm gonna charge you $2,000. Like, sorry, it's the fun of it. If something happens to you, say you were unfortunate and you get in an accident, which is extremely rare on bike share, I can talk about that separately. But we treat it just like you, and then.
I
Sean's probably better.
So Eric, how can we as a community here at St. Pete help you grow those things?
So right now, through this demo phase, we're looking for help screaming from the rooftops, just to let people know that this exists. On top of that, we really do want to help promote biking in general in St. Pete. I don't care if you're on my bikes, people are going to ride my bikes. But I do want people out on the streets experiencing the city in a much different way, in a much more economical way. It's a lot easier to get from point A to point B on a bike than it is in a car. So anything that you all as people can do, or if we can come into your businesses with our advocacy group and actually educate, that's really the two main goals that we're looking for. So education and helping the system.
Now that I confuse everyone, because I normally do the end, we do have another presenter here. Quickly, I want to share an event that I'm involved with called Startup and Vote. There's a third city one this morning, but we're the second of now, I guess, 3 cities nationwide that are organizing a nonpartisan early voting event around startups. So what does that all mean? Obviously, Florida is one of the early voting states, and we are trying to. Scroll down. So on November 3rd at 12:30 p.m. at Williams Park, we're going to have some food trucks, some vendors, just an event to allow your staff, your team, family, friends to come around, enjoy some food, walk over to the polling station a block away, and participate in early voting in Florida. And we have many people in this room. We already have, I believe, 19 or 20 companies involved. What does being involved mean? There's no commitment, there's no payment, there's no affiliation with party, none of that. It's just saying that, hey, we're a startup in the St. Pete community. We're going to let our employees come down to Williams Park next Thursday at 12:30, participate in early voting, and get some food. What's important about this is, as we know, getting St. Pete greater recognition on the national stage as being a very startup-friendly city. This has already been tweeted by Tim O'Reilly, Chris Sacco, a whole bunch of other folks saying, hey, look at these cities that are doing early voting with startups. So this is going to be getting a lot of media attention over the next week nationwide. Wouldn't it be great to have St. Pete at the center of that? If you want your company to be one of the ones on this list, again, there's no screening or anything on it. It's just, hey, scroll to the bottom of the page, fill out this form. It comes to me, let me know where to find your logo. I'll throw it up there on the site, and we hope to have you at the event next Thursday. Danielle, question?
What's the URL again?
Startupandvote.com.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's some other great events up there on the board, which Carly will include in your newsletter. And with that, let's switch over to our second presenter. Yeah, Jim, thank you.
I'm the owner of SPRides and St. Pete Pedicab. Kind of a curious story relating to the bikes here is that I was in Europe in the summer of 2015 and visited about a dozen cities. And as I was traveling throughout Europe, you don't take an Uber or you don't take a cab to get from one location to the other. Quite often you would just take a bike or you would take a pedicab. And I became very enamored with that concept. So when I came back just about a little over a year ago, I bought a bunch of pedicabs, brand new coaster pedicabs. And I started the business with 5 pedicabs. And we ran that till throughout the summer and throughout the winter season until about March of this year. And one of the challenges I had was hiring people. The city does require a taxi license for a pedicab. It also requires it be registered as a vehicle with the city. So there's some cost in doing that. You also have to have people that have the stamina to ride. And that was probably the biggest challenge I had. Finding employees that would meet the qualifications of the city with no misdemeanors, no felonies, you can level 1 background checks, but you also have to be physically capable of doing this. I also had limitations with the insurance company because they said you had to be 25 years old as well. So with putting all these things together, and most importantly, the heat. I said, this isn't going to work the way I thought it was going to work. And I went out and bought 10 GEM electric vehicles. And that's what you see here, it's a GEM. It's 6-passenger vehicles. They're registered with the state or licensed with the state as a low-speed vehicle. They are fully safe. There's license plates on it, there's insurance on it, but most importantly, they stop at 25 miles an hour. It's regulated for that speed. It's perfect for micro-transportation, very similar to what he's doing with the bikes. We're trying to do the same thing. We are doing the same thing, the same thing. So we started running these in March, running currently 7 days a week, from 11 to midnight, 2 different shifts. Employ currently 15 people. Expect that to get up to about 25, somewhere between 25 and 30 with mechanics and such. And we did this 100% with private money. That's the biggest distinction between us and the other entities that are out there, is that there was no government money, it wasn't your tax money. It's fully supported by us from our pocketbooks because we believe in the business, and it's fully supported by the advertising. So you'll see here, this is the folks at Sundial, the different shops that they're supporting and helping subsidize, if you will, but helping pay for the car in exchange for advertising. The Tampa Bay Rowdies will also stand up. They each have 4 cars, and then I have 2 rifles. If anybody wants to have a car wrapping, please, so happy to chat with you about that. Just last week, we started with a monthly pass. The monthly pass is $60 for a single person, $100 for a couple, or $150 for a family. That's unlimited rides throughout downtown St. Pete. Our area is from 9th Avenue South to 38th Avenue North, from Tampa Bay over to around the Grand Central District. We restricted it to this area, one, because that's where the population exists, most of it. Also, the roads are a little bit more appropriate for us. We do avoid 4th Street. We're legal to go on 4th Street, but it's just not the right place to be. There's some cobblestone streets that aren't real good for any vehicle, so we're trying to avoid that. But that is the territory that we're in. And you can request a ride by either booking now from the website directly or by downloading an app. There's an app just like Uber. You say, this is where I am, this is where I want to go, this is the number of people. And the guys will run around, come pick you up. There's credit card billing that you can do directly. You can do the monthly billing, or you can just pay $5 a person. Kids are free. That's pretty much my presentation. Is there any questions at this point? Yes.
So it's $5 regardless of how far you go?
Yes, correct. No mileage, no time, $5 per person. Yes.
So let's say I'm a member, so I pay $100 a month, and then I want to take
60 for a single person.
Right, so it's $60 a month for me. And let's say I want to take my roommates and I downtown and back. Are they paying additionally?
Yes. It's $5 a person. So when you register, you get a $5 credit when you book the ride, and then if you say there's 3 people, then it's a $10 charge. Sir?
How many vehicles do you currently have running, and how long might one wait if several of them are busy?
We have 10 vehicles running. Obviously, we pick the scheduling and what's happening. On Saturday night, Friday and Saturday nights, we're running 8 during the evening, 2 during the day. Generally, the wait time, the pre-book time is about 8 to 10 minutes. But you could also book in advance. You can say, I want to wait for that. Yes?
How late do they run? How late do they run?
We run till midnight. My mom taught me nothing good happens after midnight. we just, sometimes we'll let the guys go a little bit later till about 1 in the morning, but we do not want to be parents to people that don't want to be. They get correct.
Do I have to use an app? Because I always see you downtown when I'm walking the dogs every night, and it might actually be you in front of Moon Underwater all the time. Can I just, if I don't have, let's say hypothetically, I'm my mom. Could you just walk up and give me $5?
You can just say, hey, stop.
Okay, so just hail them like a cab and give them $5.
They press hail, drive, and they're up. Okay. You do not have to have, the fastest way to do it, the book, is by having the app, but you don't have to do it.
Okay.
Sir?
Is it sort of like the super shuttle, and if I call for you, you give me other stops along the way, pick up other people who called, or?
It doesn't generally happen. I mean, technically it could, but it generally doesn't happen. It's usually we're picking up you and taking you to this location. And that's really just a direct demand. Yes?
Bring my doggy on?
Well, that's a good point. I don't know if he bad answers. I don't see why you couldn't. I have a few dogs too.
Is a dog $5?
I'll say right now, we're not bidding, but the dog is free.
south to 38th north and then out to 34th, did you say?
I said, no, not 22nd, on the main section, whatever, 22nd, 26th.
So, I live in Shore Acres. Do you go out?
That's
that
just
way?
up, yeah, we do go up that
I
way.
don't know if we're technically north or south of 38th.
We do into Shore Acres, we go into, all northeast towards Snow Island.
So, I could give up my car and pay $60 a month
Correct.
and just take me from my house
Many
to
rides.
the grocery store, all.
Yes. Especially for the folks that are living downtown, you know, there's construction everywhere. By the time you get to your car, you take it out the garage, you go find another place to park, you probably would have walked there, but if it's too far to walk, you can use me or use theirs. Sorry.
I actually tried to work for you when you were doing the pedicabs. Is it the same sort of restrictions for the drivers of these vehicles?
It is. Yeah, it's the same city license, you know, each driver has a level 1 background check, no misdemeanors for 3 years, no felonies for 5 years, no more than 4 points on your license, and a current Florida license. And so that's done for every driver, unlike Uber, we do actually background checks, the city requires. Sir?
So, I'm trying to differentiate, you've got Uber, who you're going to compete against, you're going to compete against the taxi service, you're going to compete against those bikes and others.
Sure.
So, is it a cost effective, what differentiates your business of transportation against all the others? Is it a cost?
I think there somewhat comes into play. I think
$60 a month?
I don't speak for Uber, but I think their minimum base charge is they pay somewhere around $6.50 or $7 just to get in the car.
$5 is definitely cheaper than an Uber from here.
Yeah. Now certainly, you know, an Uber could take 2 or 3 people, so if you measure that against my charge of $15, maybe there is an issue. But I've got paid employees that are insured, that have had level 1 background checks, that have auto insurance that's covered with a commercial liability policy. So you're much more protected when you're riding with me than you would be in other scenarios. Yes?
What about for disabled people?
So that's a great question. We do go through that one training. We're not trained to assist people physically. So if you're in a wheelchair, as an example, you have to be able to get yourself into the car. We can help with the equipment, but we're not trained to help assist the person to get into the vehicle.
So it would be useful for someone that wants to go to a doctor's appointment and come home, if they have any kind of limitations.
It depends upon the limitations. Again, we're not able to physically help carry somebody into the vehicle.
And the sheets don't swivel.
The seats do not spill out. Sure.
Let's say that you have an increased volume from users, where you can change that pricing structure accordingly once you get more demand.
Once I get more demand, I buy more cars.
But like let's say that you do have a lot more people, it's just a $5 flat fee versus you can be taking people on different rides and be making a lot more money. You see that changing? And
I don't see that. I'm very simple. In my thinking, $5 is a good number. We've got a business model that says that we can make money doing that, especially with the support we get from our advertisers. That's the big difference between what's happening here and what's happening in Tampa. So Tampa was funded with almost $1 million in government money. We're doing this with our private money, and we have a business model that we will profit.
So I have 2 questions. They're a little different. So the first one is your marketing. How are you marketing people? What's your target market? Like who's your ideal customer? And then the second one is how are you getting power? Like is it a real resource kind of thing? You're powered, right?
So obviously the second one first. They're electric vehicles. There's lithium batteries. They're in the back. They just regular 110 outlet is how we charge them. It takes about 8 hours for a full charge, but they'll run 50 miles during an 8-hour or 36-hour shift. So we generally just run them overnight. You know, so they're working once a day, each car. So I generally run 2 or 3 during the day and about 6 to 7 at night. The target market is really the folks that live in this area around here. We've been just started doing direct mail, especially for the monthly passes, because we think that's the easiest solution for many people. Again, as you mentioned, if you want to go to Publix, you want to do the grocery shopping, we can help with that. The bike is cool, but you can't take the groceries from Publix, you know. So we think that's really the market that we need. Sir?
Your purpose of being here today, you're looking for investment, you're looking to build a rider base, or both?
I think just get the word out. Obviously, and my role is to promote the advertisers. That's who supports us. So what I would look for you is just getting the word out. Download the app, consider the alternatives that are out there as well. I mean, this concept of micro-transportation is a big part of St. Pete. Parking is a challenge. Driving around here is a problem. Parking is a problem. These are simpler solutions to what that challenge is.
I also want to ask you about scaling. You said that when you get more money, you'll buy more cars. So does that mean more cars for the same concentrated area that you're working in now? Are you looking to go beyond that initial footprint? What's
I
your
would like
plan?
to see additional zones put forth. I live in Gulfport. I've been asked by them to try and do something. It wouldn't be anywhere near as many cars. There's not that many posts. The other at St. Pete Beach would be another location. Treasure Island would be another location. And granted, I can't mix zones just because it's only goes 25 miles an hour. So when I take the car over to Tyrone, it's a good half-hour trip. But it's also the speed limit. I'm just going to point that out. Yes.
So you've accomplished one thing today, if nothing else. I didn't know you had a monthly pass, so that's great. So my question is, I just was looking online, you have a single price, a couple price, and a family price.
Yes.
Say I buy a single and I want to bring my daughter with me on a trip, I just pay $5 more?
$5 for the daughter, yes.
Okay, but
12 and over.
Pardon?
If 12 and over, kids 12 and under are free.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, I've been going.
First in.
A great presentation. I just had just more suggestions. I see the vehicles downtown a lot, but I got your direct mail that says $60 a month. But other than that, I have no idea how affordable this is. So first suggestion, even if it's just like a big blinking sign on the top of these things, that's like a $5 ride or $60.
It's not in this picture, but there is a sign on the top that says $5.
I was downtown at Cassis last night, saw you sitting there and still didn't, I was kind of looking for, just if you draw attention to how economical that is, beyond this room, who we just shared it with, I think that would go a long way.
Okay.
Just other idea that came to mind is you say you start at 11 a.m. to midnight, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of businesses downtown, like I know, I see a few penny order folks here who all kind of like live within those couple miles of these businesses and have to drive and find parking and, don't want to walk when it's boring. Before 11 a.m., you might be able to work with some companies and actually set up like they do in busier cities that go around and pick up 3 or 4 people on a morning, like a carpool, if you will.
Okay.
In that early hours of the morning, it should be another revenue opportunity where you charge a business, pay $500 a month, and we'll operate your carpool.
We'll take care of it. It's great.
From 7 to 8 a.m.
That's very good. One thing we have done or recently did for Park, PARC, had an event at the Birchwood, but there's not enough parking at Birchwood for 200 people that were attending, so we cut a deal with the Sundial parking garage and shuttled everybody back and forth. So we do hourly rentals as well. No, I promise you.
So, a couple of comments on that question. So, when I first saw this come up on the screen, I thought, oh no, here's a guy who's going to try and compete with Uber, taxis, and this is just not going to work. It's not going to go anywhere. I've been involved with other transportation companies that failed. I thought, it's not my idea. Once you told me the price, you sold me. The price is phenomenal. So competing with Uber, I don't think you're really, yeah, you are, but you're not really, because like Sean said, flat fee for Uber is more than that.
It's more than it starts at.
And as long as you're competing within that small geographic area, I think you're going to get locked up. I really do. I think
Our area is 5-6 miles.
That's got a huge potential.
That's all I want to do.
With the price. Second thing is, nobody cares whether your drivers are insured, have background checks. Nobody cares. So I wouldn't use that as a big selling point. Truly. How many of you guys use Uber? How many of you guys use Uber? Right? Everybody uses Uber. You don't care if your Uber guy's got a level 10 background check. You don't care. Okay, but you do, but most people don't, right? And the reason, listen what I'm saying.
Women do.
Uber has exploded. Uber has exploded despite the fact that they're not compliant with insurance regulation in the city. They've exploded. So in general, people are voting with their wallets saying, I don't really care. I'm going to use Uber. So my point is, I don't think that's a big selling point. The point I think you're missing, emphasizing that could be huge, is the fact that this is green transportation. Green transportation didn't come up also. Didn't come up with it. I think that's a huge advantage you have over taxis and buses, is you say, we're green, we care about the environment, this is a green way to go, and it's cheaper than anything else out there. I think if you push that piece, you're going to get a ton of millennials that are environmental advocates. I think that's a huge thing. So, I'm done. You guys are done. But I think that's a huge piece that you should push. I think that would be huge.
I appreciate that, thank you. Sir?
All right, I want to build on two people's, and I'm going to start with this one to say that I agree, it's a fantastic idea, but to answer your question, I also don't care as much with Uber drivers. I'm 6 feet tall and 200 pounds. Now, you might have noticed a divide in the room as to who cares about the safety of their Uber driver and who doesn't, and I think it divides somewhere along the gender gap, because my girlfriend is 5 feet tall and 97 pounds, and on more than one occasion an Uber driver has pulled up and she says, no. So that's where the divide is there, and that is a huge selling point to 51% of your market. Building on that was just a comment more, but my other, just a suggestion to you too is, building on what Chris said as well, there's have you done anything on that corporate market as well for the restaurants and bars downtown? Because there's already a huge parking problem for their employees, and it's about to get worse because, thank God, there's going to be permit parking in the south end of Old Northeast now, so I can actually park in front of my house, but that's going away as well, and that is where probably 75% of the Minoy employees and the Beach Drive waiters and waitresses, and it's, yeah, if I'm a waiter, I'm not making lots of money and it's already expensive, I can't afford. If you could get something together with like Steve Westfall and some of the other people downtown with a remote lot, give them a corporate rate of, again, it's, you know, going back to the penny pincher people as well, and at 5 o'clock, there's a huge demand because I see them all coming in, and you know, offer them some sort of corporate rate, find a remote lot, and show people the employees back and forth.
Very good idea. Thank you.
Kim has had her hand again.
So when Sean orders a ride and you go pick him up out in Shore Acres, does Sean go from his house directly to his destination, or will you stop and pick up other riders like his neighbor? And
Currently, we're going point A to point B.
okay.
And that's it.
So you don't stop.
If as demand increases, there might be the dispatch software we're using allows us to take on a second line in the middle. We're not currently doing that just because the demand is big.
Okay, and then the one feature about Uber that I like is that you can see when whoever you order an Uber ride for, that they get to the destination. Do you have that technology? I like the technology where the GPS technology where you can watch to see when they get to their destination, or
The user can see on their phone where the driver's coming from when he's coming to pick you up.
Okay.
And there's texts that are sent as well. They'll be there in 60 seconds. He's at your front door.
Okay.
So there's various communications going back and forth.
How do I get my graph on your vehicle? How do I get my graph on your vehicle? So I went on your website, there's nothing anywhere on there that says that.
Give me a call. I'll work with you on if you want to do that.
Okay, so your price structure, I want to talk about the price structure. So are you currently in the red or in the black? I mean, where are you financially? Okay, so you don't expect as you start adding more personnel, employees, vehicles, that price structure is going to change? That you're profitable, you have margins?
Our financial models show that we will be profitable with the staffing that we have. You know, the first thing to do is get the cars, get the licensing, and quite honestly, the insurance is one of the biggest challenges we have. Once that was resolved, then getting the staffing in place. So now we're at a good staffing level that we can now be out and talk to folks like you. Sir?
What does your advertising cost? What does it get you? How long does it get it for?
The simplest advertising we have tablet advertising that's in the vehicles, it's mounted right from the ceiling. This is $100 a month. It gets you about 26,000 impressions per month for $100. Right? Any business that you have. We started with the sundial people because again, that's people. They did the wrap as well. The wrap costs. We have it at $2,500 a month for a wrap. Yes, ma'am.
I don't see a map on the mobile site. I just would suggest maybe, so that when someone's trying to, say, oh, take me where I want to go.
Yes, that's a good idea. So if you try and book a ride with the app or online, and you want to go from here to the Don States Art, it's going to say you can't do it. It knows what the zone is. But that's a great suggestion for the map.
Are you still doing the rides to collect Pokemon?
That went pretty well. I did a group on Pokemon rides, and it's about an hour and a half running people around. It was pretty goofy. That's kind of settled down.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so two more. First statement is this. Love the fact you did this with private money. I love it. I think you should be extremely proud of that. That's what built America. I think is fantastic. Thank you. Second thing is, what about cross-promotional opportunities with the guys you already have relationships with? Cross-promotions at the Sundial, cross-promotions at Rays games. Hey, you want to get home safe after you had 6 Budweisers watching the Rays lose again? Call us and we'll come. So I think that you have huge relationships you can tap there for very easy all the time.
Yes, thank you. And with the Rowdies, we have a very close relationship with them. There's promotions that happen in the stadium during the games that coincide with what we're doing as well. Rays have a deal with Bats Taxi specifically. There's a lease that they have, so we're not allowed to use the taxi stand. It's leased by Bats Taxi. We can drop off and pick up, but we can't hang out.
I see it as the worst.
Sir?
I work in the art community, and I'm just going to mirror what everyone else is saying about parking. A lot of the galleries on Central, it's not so much the museums, but the galleries on Central and outwards have a problem with parking also.
Yes.
So I wonder, have you thought about teaming up with St. Petersburg Arts Alliance and the Art Walk and making yourself known to everyone in the city who's interested in seeing art other than what's on Beach Drive out in the city? And because it's not walkable so much, and especially in the summer.
Sure. I've reached out to a few folks. Nothing has really happened just yet. Like a mural tour, I thought would be appropriate. There's 100 some odd murals at 119, I believe. And even using the pedicabs for something like that, because it's a little more, even easier to get in and out of a pedicab than it is getting out of the SPRides. So it's certainly viable. I'd love to chat with further. Yes.
I have two things. First of all, I just want to reiterate your clientele that the female ones care about the drivers, and the market that you're targeting. Women outlive men a great deal. So, those condos, those high rises, those houses in the old Northeast, you probably have a pretty good female market right there.
Yeah.
Secondly is, what can the community do for you?
Well, I'd like to see people sign up with the monthly service. Certainly support our sponsors. I mean, they're the people that are paying for this. Let them know that, hey, I'm coming into the Diamonds Direct or Roots Chris or Local, whatever, because you saw the vehicle. That makes me feel better, makes them feel better. Again, the whole concept of private funding is, I think, that's really what you should take away from this thing. You can take risks and make money when you do it the right way. We're fully licensed. We did everything that the city asked us to do. We're fully compliant and have no qualms about doing it, and we can still be profitable without reaching into the tax dollars.
Thank you guys both. I think we had 2 great presentations today, a great theme. If you or somebody you know and love would be great up here to present, please go on to 1millioncups.com/St. There's a request to present button. It's a short form. That'll come to us. One of us, the organizers, will reach out, talk about dates to present, things like that. We're always looking for new folks to come and experience the startup community. Please bring friends with you next time. The coffee is always free. And if you hear something that you were really passionate about, go on social media, tell people about the great ideas that you heard here, how you can work with them. And
Next week, we actually have our very own Chris Bennett as one of our presenters.
Next week.
Just a little teaser to get you back.
I'm being informed that we have a hashtag 1MCSTP. Please use that in your social media promotions. But most of all, just come back, have fun. I hope you guys come back soon. I hope you present soon. Come up with some great companies and come up here. Thanks.